Today, we're diving into the fundamental concepts of HTML5 essentials, which are crucial for any web developer. HTML5 truly serves as the backbone of modern web development, laying the foundation for all interactive and dynamic content. Let's begin by understanding how to properly build a basic HTML document, step by step from scratch. We'll explore the foundational sequence of essential elements that every well-structured HTML page requires to function correctly. First, the doctype HTML declaration tells the browser which HTML version to use for rendering the page. Next, the HTML root element acts as the container for all other HTML elements on your entire web page. Inside the head metadata section, we include information about the page, like the title, which isn't directly visible. Finally, the body element contains all the visible content that users will actually see and interact with on the web page. Now, let's explore some of the core HTML5 semantic elements that add meaning to our web content. These elements are crucial for giving proper meaning and structure to your web content, improving clarity for browsers and developers. The header element is used to define introductory content or navigation links at the top of a document or section. It typically defines introductory content or important navigation links within a particular section or the entire document. The main element represents the dominant or primary content of the document, excluding sidebars or footers. This element represents the dominant content, the central topic of the document, making it clear what's important. The footer element contains footer information, like copyright notices, author information, or contact details. It contains important footer information, such as copyright statements, author details, or relevant contact information. An article element represents independent, self-contained content, like a blog post, a forum comment, or a news story. This element represents independent, self-contained content that could be distributed and reused independently, such as a blog post. The section element is used to group related content together, often with a heading within a larger document. This element groups related content together, making your document more organized and easier to navigate for both users and machines. Now, you might be asking, why should we bother using semantic HTML elements in our web projects? Semantic HTML significantly enhances web development for everyone, from developers to users and search engines alike. One major benefit is significantly improved readability for your code. Semantic tags create a clear, understandable document structure that is easy to follow. This allows developers to easily identify the purpose of different sections without needing to guess or infer. Another crucial advantage is enhanced search engine optimization, or SEO. Search engines prioritize content enclosed within semantic tags, understanding its context and importance more readily. This directly improves your content's indexing and ultimately boosts its rankings in search results. You'll also experience better browser support when using semantic HTML. It ensures consistent rendering across modern web browsers, providing a reliable experience for all users. Many semantic tags also come with default styling, which can help streamline your CSS efforts. Lastly, semantic HTML offers significant accessibility benefits for all users. Assistive technologies, like screen readers, can interpret pages much more effectively with proper semantic structure. This greatly helps visually impaired users navigate and understand your web content more efficiently and easily. Let's explore some key HTML attributes that are crucial for understanding forms and user interactions. These attributes are all about defining precisely how user data is gathered, processed, and handled within your web applications. First, the action attribute. It's a fundamental part of form handling in HTML. The action attribute specifies the exact URL where your form's data will be sent for processing. Next, we have the method attribute, which dictates the transfer mechanism for your form data. It determines how the data is sent, primarily using either the GET or POST HTTP methods. Then, the the target attribute, which controls where the server's response will be displayed. This attribute specifies where the server's response after form submission should be displayed, often in a new window or frame. Finally, the enctype attribute, important for certain types of data submission. The enctype attribute defines the encoding type for the form data, especially when uploading files. Now, let's dive into some common HTML form input elements that you'll use regularly. These examples will show you how to collect various types of user data effectively and efficiently. We'll start with the fundamental text and password inputs, essential for user authentication. The text type is for single-line input, while password hides sensitive data. Both are crucial for collecting user credentials securely. This code snippet demonstrates how to create basic username and password input fields using the text and password types. Next, let's look at email and number inputs, which offer specific validation and control. The email type automatically validates format, while number accepts numerical input, allowing min and max range controls. Here, we see examples of input types for email and numbers, including how to set a range for numerical input. Finally, we'll cover checkboxes and radio buttons for selecting options from a list. Checkboxes allow multiple selections, while radio buttons enforce a single choice within a group, identified by their name attribute. This code illustrates how to create multiple checkboxes for hobbies and a group of radio buttons for gender selection. Let's explore how HTML5 handles multimedia source selection, ensuring compatibility across devices. The process begins by attempting to initiate media playback using the first available source. The browser first checks if it can play the primary media source, often an MP4 file. If the MP4 source is compatible, the video or audio content will begin playing immediately. If MP4 isn't supported, the browser then checks for the second source, typically a WEBM file. Should the WEBM format be compatible, it will then play that video or audio content instead. If neither source is supported, a fallback message is displayed, informing the user about the issue. Now, let's see HTML5 APIs in action, specifically focusing on geolocation and web storage. We'll explore practical implementations of these powerful APIs for enhanced web application functionality. The first step is always to check if the user's browser actually supports the geolocation API. This code snippet demonstrates how to programmatically check for the availability of the geolocation API in the browser. Once available, we can then proceed to retrieve the current geographical position of the user. This JAVIA script code shows how to use GETCURRENTPOSITION to obtain the user's latitude and longitude coordinates, handling potential errors. Next, let's look at saving data persistently using the browser's local storage mechanism. Here, we demonstrate saving a username to local storage and then retrieving it, persisting data across sessions. Finally, we'll explore saving data for the current session using session storage. This code illustrates how to store a session ID in session storage, which persists only for the current browser tab's duration. All right, let's wrap up our discussion with a quick summary of what we've learned about HTML5. Here are the key takeaways and essential concepts you should remember from our HTML5 journey. First, HTML5 defines web page structure using semantic elements, which greatly improves both clarity and accessibility for users. Semantic tags such as header, main, and footer enhance readability, boost SEO, and support assistive technologies effectively. HTML forms are crucial for collecting user input, with various form attributes and input types enhancing user interaction. Multimedia elements like audio and video natively embed content, supporting various formats and important accessibility features. HTML5 APIs, including geolocation and web storage, extend browser functionality for location services and local data persistence. Finally, always adhere to best practices for clean, accessible, and high-performing web development in your projects.